Well, good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great start to your day. Welcome to the Ninja Habits Daily Huddle Call. And today we are going to be going through our Ninja Daily Habits, and we are going to be focusing on the 5 daily habits. We're also going to be spending some time this Wednesday talking about this next quarter and what we plan to do with Ninja moving forward through the spring. And it might just be something where I change it up every quarter to just kind of keep us focused on the ninja activities. But I'm going to share with you some ideas I have for this next quarter on today's call instead of focusing on one of the weekly habits. So I'm recording this for those that aren't able to make it today so that they can hear as well what those plans are and hopefully be able to continue on this journey together moving into this next season that we have of spring. So, but let's go ahead and get started with our daily activities today and let's share, what are you grateful for this morning? What did you wake up and feel grateful about? Getting to say my morning prayer and affirmations. Love it. Hi, April. Welcome today. Nancy, good morning. I am grateful for reconnecting with old friends. That's the best, isn't it? Catching up with people. I'm grateful for closing today and the opportunity to help this first time homebuyer. Great job, Brent. First time homebuyers are still like one of the main reasons why real estate is so fun, is watching them achieve something, their dream of owning a home or condo, whatever it is. But that's amazing. I'm grateful I got to spend more time than intended with a past client for lunch yesterday. We had a very bad experience at a restaurant, a locally owned restaurant here that she wanted to try, and literally the owner was yelling at us and being very hostile towards us. And so we left. But I'm grateful that we didn't let it ruin our time together. Like, she was obviously upset about it. I mean, I was definitely, yeah, it was crazy, Shannon. I was definitely kind of shocked by what happened. I honestly don't know why. Um, Thankful you got to go take a walk. Great, Terry. I have that on my agenda today before it rains. Um, I don't know what was going on with him. I think he was just maybe stressed out. I could tell that he was stressed and overwhelmed because he was the only guy working, but he only had like 6 of us in the whole place, and 4 of them he was serving. Um, but he had told us when we came up to the counter, he said it would be a few minutes, and I was like, okay, no problem. And we weren't in any kind of hurry at all. And so we were just looking at the menu and talking, and um, it went another like 20 minutes. And so I kind of peeked back where I could see him working, and he didn't acknowledge me. So I was like, well, he'll come out here in a minute. Because I was just going to ask him, like, how much longer is it going to be? And he came out, kept delivering food. He never said anything to us, and he was just kind of in a rush. And there was just a whole vibe about the whole thing. And so we just kept talking. And then another 10 minutes goes by, and I'm like, girl, it's been like 25, 30 minutes I've been standing here. I said, we could sit down. And so I look back there again, and I'm like, hey, sir, do you know how long it's going to be? Um, and he ignored me. And then he came out to deliver another item to one of the customers in the store. And he said, if you're looking for fast food, Jimmy John's is 3 doors down. We make real food here, and it's that you have to wait for it. And I was just like, I was like, because it was April Fool's, I was like, am I being punked? Like, it was just, yeah, it was completely out of the blue. So, we were able, and it really rattled us. It really did, because we were just like, why is he talking to us like this? And I just looked at him and I was like, excuse me, sir? And he said, I see you peeking back in the kitchen, pressuring me. I'm like, no, I was simply asking how much longer it was going to be. Because we were going to sit down and wait, because she was really excited about trying it and we were like in no hurry at all. And so he was like, no, you weren't. And I mean, he was like yelling at us, like yelling. And I was just totally peaceful. And then he goes, are you ordering or what? And looked at my friend and I was like, I think I would rather eat somewhere else today. and, and he said, good. I don't need your business or something like that. And it was crazy, guys. It was like I don't know if you guys remember Candid Camera. I felt like I was on Candid Camera because I'm literally like smiling and looking around like, what is happening? Am I in some kind of weird, um, like, just so weird. It was so weird. The other guests were just staring like with big eyes, like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Yeah, it was so strange.
Are you able to tell us what the restaurant was?
Yeah, it's called Can't Believe It's Vegan on Schrock Road in Westerville.
Wouldn't that be the thing too? Is because I've been wanting healthy food somewhere, and then we have to hear that it's a crazy one.
Oh my gosh. And apparently he was on the news. He was featured on the local news, which is why she heard about it. And she called the news yesterday. She was so upset. I told her, I was like, I'm just gonna,
Maybe he just was really having a bad day.
well, and that's the thing. I said, obviously I'm rattled a little bit. I'm like, but
Yeah, I mean that
in
never
the
should have been.
end,
Never should have been. But
yeah. And Mark's like, leave him a bad review. And I'm like, I think I'm just gonna let it go. I think he just was, because before he left, he's like, I just can't do this today. And I'm like, maybe he found out some horrible news, right? Like, I feel like that's where we just have to give grace to people. I mean, he didn't curse at me. He didn't, call me out of my name or anything, but he obviously was very overwhelmed and stressed. And I sensed it from the
yeah,
moment I was
yeah.
walked in. And so yeah, it was just, but back to the gratitude of, even in the bad situations that we come across, like we still found gratitude. We went, the next place we went to that we liked was closed that day. So we ended up at Rusty Bucket. But, and the service we had there was amazing. The guy was amazing. We gave a
See,
wonderful tip.
it
It
all
was,
worked out.
yeah, it all worked out. We had a great time. It extended our time together, but I thought about that. I was in my car on the way back and I was just praying for that guy. And I was like, Lord, keep my heart right? And it was so funny because the night before we just did a Bible study with friends on love. I was like, well, I got tested today. That's how it is. I know, Nancy, we said the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised if his business was closing soon. Um, and I saw a help wanted sign when I went in, and I actually was thinking, I was like, gosh, this would be a great job for like a young person. And I know a lot of young people who are very good young people. And I thought, well, maybe I'll ask him about the position and maybe I could help him fill it. I was actually thinking that when I was walking in. And yeah, maybe that's why there's somebody that wants to work there. Oh gosh. But back to like, I thought about that because I told him, I said, I'm in the service industry and I know it's hard. I'm like, but we can't treat people like this. You know what I mean? Like, and he just was like, well, you don't have to treat people. I do, and I'm just like, okay. I said, well, nobody talks to me this way in my life. And I'm not about to start today. Like, nobody talks to me this way. I don't allow people to talk to me like this.
And he was actually the owner.
Yeah, he's the owner.
Wow. There must have some. There should hope not hopefully, but hopefully there was something really bad going on in his life because yeah, that would. Could you even imagine working for him? That'd be terrible.
I
That's
know.
sad.
I definitely would not refer anybody to work for him.
That's
Maybe
sad.
being on the news boosted their business more than they were able to handle. I don't know. Maybe that could be. I don't know. But it just made me realize how important it is that we are in the service industry and how important it is that we see things from our client's point of view. Because I was thinking while driving to the next place, I was like, he wasn't thinking of our point of view. Because he kept saying, I told you it was going to be a wait. I told you it was going to be a wait. I said, yes, sir. You said it was going to be a few minutes, maybe several minutes. I was like, but several minutes doesn't equate to a half an hour, you know? And and I thought about how in our business that we should take the time to set the proper expectations, right? Because if he just would have told us when we walked in, hey guys, I'm short staffed today, I'm super overwhelmed, I will get to you, but it might be 30 minutes. If you guys want to have a seat, I'll let you know when I'm ready. We would have been like, sure, no problem. Because we were not in a hurry. Like I had no other appointments. So I literally was dedicating my time to spending with her. Um, so it was just very, it's interesting. And I think about that in my business. I'm like, where can I set better expectations? Where are my clients feeling this way? Even if I'm not being mean to them, right? Like intentionally. But there may be times when they feel lost in the process or they're wondering. And so, what can I do to help them not feel that way? And part of that means that we have to spend time thinking about how they feel in that moment. My client's in her 70s and standing for that long wasn't the best for her. She never complained, but I'm thinking of her needs, right? I'm like, we could sit, we could, get more comfortable, and but she didn't complain or anything. So, but I just think about those things. Um, but it's hard to be in that moment if we are dealing with our own trauma or drama, right? So, just a little thing I thought I would share with you guys this morning that also might help you to approach your day differently. And maybe if you run into somebody today that is less than desirable, you will give them some grace and some love too. Um, but as you're continuing to do your daily activities, just obviously while I'm talking, you guys can continue to, the routine at this point. But your affirmations, writing out what you're focusing on today, resetting your mindset this morning. I had to reset my mindset quite a few times yesterday, but I can say I had a question that somebody had asked. They said, can you honestly say that you're handling things better now than when you used to, like years ago, when things like that happen? And I can honestly say, yes, I would have done something. I might have been viral 10 years ago. You guys might have seen me on Facebook or Instagram. But no, not this time. I was completely calm and I was just like, I am not going to be moved by this. And this is not ruining my day. So that is that to me is the power of having the right mindset. And I was thankful for our ninja call yesterday because that helped put me in the right mindset, right? Um, well, how are your affirmations going? How's your focus going? Are you finding that you're staying more focused on your tasks from being more intentionally setting your mindset for the day? Tell me more about that. Terry said yes. So good to hear. I totally forgot yesterday was April Fool's Day as well. I don't do good with April Fool's Day. I don't like lies. Like when people like joke around. I guess I didn't forget it was April Fool's Day. I just didn't think about like that people were going to be trying to fool me. I forgot about that part. I definitely handled daily stress much better after this call. That's so good to hear. Yeah, and as things get busier and we're working with more people and, hopefully our pipelines are getting fuller, with that does come more stress sometimes, right? When you're dealing with people.
Also, I think that helped me to remember, I think every client is so different, and I'm working with someone right now with a new build and I'm starting like, and I need to not be that way, but, and she's actually a friend too, but when she calls me, I'm like dreading the call. I know I'm on for like 30 minutes and we're just going over same questions that they're not really hearing me say. And, so I need to have a better, because this is a big step for them. I mean, selling their home, buying, building another home. So I need to remember to have, to that every person, doesn't handle things the same way. He's a very, as a, like a type A person. They read everything, they overthink everything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I think it was just good to hear that, because you never know what the other person's going through. And sometimes we, on the other hand, have to, like, even they're annoying us, we have to, not that she's annoying me, but you know what I mean? It's
I know
like,
exactly what you mean.
yeah, every day. I mean, I'm just answering kind of the same questions again and reaffirming them. And like, I said, maybe we need to go talk to another new build person. But so anyways, yeah, it's just good to this 30 minutes to refocus. Sometimes something you're going through, it helps to get you back balanced.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it is true about the clients being so different, for sure. Do any of you have your clients? I mean, I don't think you, maybe most of you don't have them take a personality assessment, but do you kind of assess them yourself based on what you see and kind of tailor things to their personality? I know some people who do that really well. Yeah. Yeah. Especially the detail people. I'm very fortunate I'm married to a detail person, and so I really know what they like, and through having to, be married to my husband, and he's definitely very, very detailed and overthinking and like looks at things from 25 different angles. I told him, I said, you should have been an attorney. Yeah, based on the disc profile. Yeah.
That's so
So,
funny because my person is an attorney and he's a kind of a little bit like your husband. Yeah. You
uh-huh.
don't know what they're thinking. Like sometimes I just absolutely don't have no idea what Dan is thinking, but his wife lets me know what he's thinking. And
Yeah.
his mind is going over every page, overthinking. And so that is so funny. But
And
I
I will
also,
tell you, I can give you a little hint into
uh-huh.
the mindset. So it's like risk assessing. That's what I call it, what my husband does. Like when he thinks about things, he's assessing the risk.
Oh,
And so
yep.
sometimes I have to just be blunt with him, and you might have to do this. I might, and just tell him, you do realize there's no way that I can remove all the risk for you. So there's got to be, everyone has their own level of risk that are willing to take. And so at some point you have to be honest with them and say there's no possible way that I can remove all the risk from this situation. But what we can do is we can look at what risk is out there and what you're comfortable with taking. And then that helps them because every flip we've ever done, and I mean my husband and I've done tons of flips. He's always like, what if it doesn't sell? What if this? What if that? What if this? What if that? And I'm just like, here's the thing. It may not. But if it doesn't, we could do this. And this would still be a positive. And if that doesn't work, we can do this. And this would still be a positive. Like I try to show as many wins, and I'm like, but the chances are that we'll sell it, or the chances are we'll rent it for this amount. But I mean, you can't, but everything could go south tomorrow. I don't know.
Mhm.
There's always a risk.
That is exactly. I just wrote something down. That's exactly what it is. I was thinking it was untrust or something, but it's risk. That's
Yeah,
exactly
it is.
because he's like, what if the house doesn't sell? What if our house doesn't sell? What, all these things. And I was given
Yeah.
all the what we could do. We could do a bridge loan. We could do a rent back. But like none of it was really focused. He was not
Yeah. And
like,
yeah, just talking to him about the risk, say, look, I know that you want this to be completely risk-free, but
mm-hmm,
there's no way I can do that because you nor I control all the aspects. All we can do is have a couple different plans in place, and I will help you get those together with plans that you're comfortable with and go from there. But the worst case scenario is X, right? Like you just have to put it on the table so that they can digest it. And it might take them a while, but what I find with people, like when you confront it like that, they do trust you more because you're telling them that it may not be perfect. What's weird is when you tell somebody everything's going to be great, everything's going to be great, there's not going to be any issues, and then when there are issues or there are are things that come up, that enters the distrust because they're like, well, they told me there wasn't going to be a problem and this was going to be smooth, you know. Well, there could be problems. So sometimes, yeah, that gets more respect from people that, or at least from my husband's perspective, it gets more respect when people do that. Yeah. So hopefully that helps you guys when you're working with somebody. So what's the one thing you guys are going to get done today? And, as you guys are continuing to do your personal note cards and that sort of thing, I will talk a little bit here about what it's going to look like going forward. I know we're enjoying the daily part, but the spring is going to be difficult for me to be on here every morning because of my schedule changes. So, and my husband, I was feeling so bad about this. And he's like, Alicia, you started doing this. You were just going to do it for a month. And I said, I know, but I feel like we've developed this little community now and I don't want to lose that. And so I was asking you guys last Friday about some ways we can continue the community and continue to hold each other accountable. And so I came up with some suggestions of maybe we've been focusing on our daily task for the past 3 months. A lot of you, I feel, if you didn't develop the habit of doing your daily tasks by now, I just don't know. It's, I'm grateful too, Rachel. And so I thought to myself, I full transparency, I'm struggling with some of my weekly tasks personally. So I was like, you know what? Maybe the next quarter, and being that it's spring, we focus on weekly tasks and we can create some community around that. So, um, and I got some good feedback from those of you last Friday. Some people wanted to continue daily, but I'm not able to. So I can't do what I can't do. But I definitely can commit to the weekly tasks and try to make it fun. And so, what I think, I'm still kind of building this out and I'm working on it, but what I think it's going to look like is we are going to break down one of, just like we do on Wednesdays that we've done, like where we break down one of the weekly tasks or weekly practices, I guess I should say. What this will look like, I'm going to gamify it. I love like making things fun and keeping us motivated, right? So I'm working on creating like a week. Each week we'll focus on one thing, but it'll be broken down by day. And we'll have little mini scorecards that we can keep and we can earn points for the week. And I'm working on potentially having some prizes or recognition or something that you guys can earn for completing those things. So um, I think I'm still going to do 2 calls a week. So we would do a Monday and a Friday. So like Monday morning would be the kickoff for the week. And we'll lay down like, hey, this is what we're focused on and answer questions and that kind of thing. And then Friday can be our wrap up for the week where we celebrate our wins for the week. And one of the things that you can earn points for will be doing your daily ninja to, yourself. So that way it helps to keep that on track. Um, and the question I had for you guys is I would love to have a community outside of the Zoom that we could potentially huddle on and ask questions and share, like update each other in real time. And I know our company uses Telegram for that. I know some people use Slack, some people use, you know, different ones. But if I was to create a Telegram group, Telegram's just an app. It's basically like a chat app. Also, I've used GroupMe too. I don't know if anybody, but are any of those ones that you guys are familiar with that would be easier? Teams can be good if everyone has a Gmail. Yeah, that's another option. Why don't you guys tell me your favorite ones, or if you don't care, just say I don't care. But what I was thinking of is creating a little group of just us um, that would be on the app, and then during the week, I can post something every morning to say, hey, this is what we're focusing on today. And we can all chime in. We can also have, depending on the app, I know Telegram and GroupMe have where you can even upload files and pictures and, that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm familiar and open to any of it. Telegram, Slack, Pass, and it doesn't matter to me. I'm familiar with GroupMe. Teams can be good if everyone has Gmail, Telegram. How about a private Facebook? It could be Facebook. Yeah. The only reason why I try to shy away from Facebook, April, is that sometimes I get distracted. I personally get distracted when I get on Facebook groups and then other things start popping up and the next thing you know I'm down like I'm like, oh, I spent way too much time on here. So it helps me to stay focused if it's not on Facebook. I don't know if anybody else relates with that, but just being real over here. Yes, LOL, but we see Facebook because of that. I know. I know. Well, I want this to be more of like a check-in place. So I know my Group Me app, which I don't know, maybe we'll do Group Me because I know that it has the ability to have, like, once we're on there, I know that we can subdivide out different things. So maybe each quarter, if we're focusing on something different, we can like have it in a different section. Um, but we'll see.
Oh, I'll need help with GroupMe. Remember when you sent me that? I do not know how to do GroupMe. I don't know how to set it up for some reason. It shouldn't be as difficult as I'm making it, but it
Well,
keeps
if I did
asking me
do whatever
questions.
app I decide to do, I will record a video showing you exactly how to
Okay.
set it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Um, okay, well, this has given me some good ideas, but I love the fact that you guys are willing to kind of take it offline or take it off Zoom. That was really what I wanted to see if that was something you guys would be open to, because I would just love the interaction on a regular basis, one, and then we could still have like our daily check-in, like you guys can say, daily ninja done. So you still have that accountability and we can have that in the group. And then if we're doing our scorecard, we could also have, yeah, I might keep it in Telegram, Shannon. I might just keep it in Telegram, especially for those of us that are used to it. And that's kind of what we've been using at our company. So, but yeah, I think it would be just a fun place to have that daily check-in and to know like what's happening and stuff. So I will keep you guys posted. I'm still building it out. I'm almost there. I've got some ideas I'm putting, kind of putting the paper. So once they're done and developing that, I will let you guys know. But it's going to be the same time. So 7:30 still, and Monday and Friday instead of every day. So what I'll do is I'll switch out our Zoom, what do you call it? Like the schedule. So that way it'll still be the same link and everything. It'll just start reminding you um, on those days instead of every day. But we're going to finish out this week. This would start Monday. So this will start next week, and then we'll plan on running this throughout the whole next quarter. And then we'll kind of gauge where we're at. And if we want to stick there again for another quarter, we can. Um, if my schedule allows and I can get back to doing something different, I will. But I know summers are hard, for all of us. So maybe we get back to doing the dailies quarter 4 or something like that. We'll just kind of see where it leads. And so I really appreciate your guys' feedback and just the consistency of showing up and being so supportive. Obviously, I didn't ever plan to do it this long, but I also love that we're getting things accomplished together, and it's been really nice. So I'll make I'll put this video up and I'm going to share it out with everybody. And so I'll get some more feedback from those who weren't able to be here today. But for those of you that are here today, you did get your Ninja Day done. Can you email these slides to us? I fell off the call at some point and had to rejoin. I'm going to be sending out the recording, April, so you will have it. So whatever you missed, you will be able to fast forward and see what we talked about. I look forward to any time you can share with us. I appreciate that, Nancy. I appreciate that. Well, guys, I hope that you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I know that I have a very laid back day today, and I'm looking forward to just getting some things done and catching up on some things. So I hope that whether your day's busy or whether you have a more laid back day like me, that you enjoy it. And we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7:30. Bye, everybody.